Wow, wow, wow. Looks like if this rocket is coming back from the moon, and I think with some bad news. If you like to know what is going on in the market, is this all for real? Is this rocket coming all the way back down? Or will it turn around and fly back to the moon? And you want some historical proof for that and not just somebody talking, then you should definitely watch this video till the end. Hello guys and welcome back to Big Bang Crypto. My name is Sam. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, hit that like button, turn on that notification bell if you like the content guys, and also please join our amazing Discord community. I think you will find something beautiful there. Alright guys, so I've been talking about a bearish scenario for a while now. In my previous videos I told you that there are clear signs for something like that, and here we are. So we're seeing a heavy correction all the way down to close to $30,000. And now the big question is this manipulation? Because a lot of people are screaming that this will all turn around and we're gonna see 60k, 70k, 100k and so on, and this is only to shake out the market. Now I don't think that we can say something like that right now, because before that some other things have to happen. Now in my previous videos I told you that what I'm seeing here is that if we connect the important points of the 144 moving average, which is the yellow one here, then we will get the very important short, mid and long-term support levels. Now we crossed this one here. This is why I said that I think that we're going down, and we went all the way down to this line, which is the midterm support, as you can see, where I connect these points of the 144 moving average. Now the big question is, can we stay above this level? Will the 144 come down and turn around before it crosses this level, or will it cross below this level and we're about to go down and see a retest of the long-term support of the 144, which started back in March 2020? If that happens, then we're talking about $17,000, $18,000, depending on how fast we're coming down here. But coming down to this level makes sense because this would be a retest of the high that we had in our last bull market, so close to $19,000. A retest of that high makes totally sense because it happened after our last bear markets. This was something that we could always see. You can check the chart by yourself to see if this is real, but my analysis shows me that this is nothing unusual. Now if we compare this to other movements, then we can see that as soon as we cross the short-term support, Bitcoin goes all the way down to the midterm support. The 144 comes down here, crosses this level, and then we see further correction all the way down to the long-term support. And what I like about this is, as you can see, as soon as the price comes back up above this support here, the 144 comes back above this support here, this is when it really gets bullish, as you can see. Right, so this is a very good indication in my opinion. And what I have here is also this orange line. As you can see, this orange line is the support of our last bull market, where we reached $20,000 approximately. And as you can see, if we take that line all the way, we see a rejection here, a rejection of the 144. So price is going up, people might get excited, whatever, but the 144 is telling us here, no, this pump is not for real. And as you can see, we have our final correction down to $30,000. Now if we take that orange line, what you also can see is that when we had that nice pump in 2019 all the way up to $14,000, the 144 didn't cross this line here, right? It turned around below this orange line, although the price moved up, but the price didn't hold this level so that the 144 moving average could follow, and so we had another correction here. What I want to also show you here is that after this correction, what you can see here is a heavy drop, and it goes back up again, but then turns around and comes back down here pretty heavily. And by the way, this correction that you can see here also happened after a hash rate collapse. And right now, after the hash rate collapse, because of China, we can see another pretty heavy correction. Now, of course, people can say that, hey, we will see the same behavior, we will turn around, come back up here, and then see a continuation of the bull market. But I don't think that it is that easy. And to know if something like this is about to happen, we have to know the key levels for that. So a very important sign that I will definitely watch, and this will be a proof for me that this bull market is about to continue, is when the 144 moving average doesn't fall below this midterm support. If it falls below this midterm support, I'm pretty sure that, or let's say it's very likely then to come back down to this level, right? Because this is not looking that, let's say like this, at the moment it is not looking like if we're going all the way back up to the moon. It is more looking like this is a big shock for the market, and people will wait to see if this will continue, or this was really just a shakeout and we're going to continue. So I would not jump blindly into the market only because some people scream in manipulation. Wait for the chart to give you the proof. Now, I think a heavy storm is in front of us, and I want to show you what it is. But before that, I want to remind you that this chart is, I think, a key to every movement that Bitcoin does. Now, as you can see, this is a very historical chart, and I tried to draw the most important lines. And as you can see, this orange line starts back in May 2011 and has a very big influence since that time. And this red line that you can see here below the orange line, this red line, is also very important. And up here in this level, we have a heavy sell wall. We have a very big resistance, and this is why we're seeing this correction here. Now, if you compare this correction to other corrections that we've seen in the past, well, I wouldn't say that it is very, very heavily, but of course you can see two big red candles following, and yeah, this is not looking that simple anymore, right? So if we compare it to corrections before, we can see that other corrections were not that heavy as long as the trend was still intact. But as soon as it stopped here, as you can see, we started to see bigger red candles, so the selling power was increasing. Now, the bad news that I talked about at the beginning of the video is that, I don't know if you're seeing it, guys, but there are two things very important. First, we have our weekly support. I talked about this, I think, also in my previous video. And as you can see, we touched it perfectly here. We found perfectly support here, and we're seeing a nice pump here, a $10,000 move here, and this shows us that this support is very important to people. Also, what we can see is this orange line that I just talked about. But if you only look at the orange line beginning by this point here, guys, what you can see is a possible rising wedge formation on the weekly. And I think if this is true, then we could see a very brutal sell-off. Bad news are starting. As you can see, it starts with Elon Musk. I don't know what his intentions are. I don't know if he's a fan of Bitcoin, or he hates Bitcoin, or he wants something else to rise, or he wants to, I don't know, own as much Bitcoin as possible. I don't know what his plan is, but it starts with Elon Musk, China follows, and there are some other bad news coming, like the USA saying that they will start with big tax in 2023. So bad news coming now for Bitcoin, and if this rising wedge is for real, then this means the technical target for this rising wedge is down at these levels, and this is around $5,000. Okay, now does this make sense? Yes, it makes sense, because if we come down to this level, we see a retest of this green fib. A positive retest of the green fib is extremely bullish. Also, we're coming down to this level here, to this blue zone here, and as you can see, this blue zone is very old. This is from the very beginning of Bitcoin's price action, and I think that this price action happened because of the people behind of Bitcoin, right? They have the power to have the biggest influence on the price, and I think if Bitcoin comes down to this zone here, then there is a massive support. And just to show you something similar, look just at this, what happened here. So we moved above the green fib all the way up to this red line close to the orange line, and we came all the way back down to the green fib, found heavy support, and then we saw a pretty heavy bull market, and this is our previous bull market. So something like that could definitely happen again. Now, for us, the most important level for this or the most important level for this scenario gives us this yellow support line, and currently this is at $30,000 approximately. All right. Now, something that could happen here is that we see a bounce from this level, and we see Bitcoin coming back up and seeing a retest of the 21 moving average. The 21 moving average on the weekly chart is very important to a lot of people. A lot of people show us tests of the 21 moving average. As you can see, during our last bull market, there are a lot of pictures of that, saying that as long as we're above the 21 weekly moving average, everything is fine, and as soon as we fall below it, we start the bear market, as you can see here. Right, we find support, we fall below it, and then the bear market starts. And now, as you can see, we have something like that, right? We're falling below it. So this is a scenario that is possible. So coming back up to the 21 weekly moving average, which is approximately at $48,500. So keep that target in mind. And also very important, $30,000. I think this is very, very important if we believe in a rising wedge formation. Also, what I want to show you is that in the past, rejections of the orange line and the red line always caused a move down into this zone. So there are a lot of examples for that, as you can see, always going down to this red line or this red line, and this is exactly what we're seeing right now. And after coming down to this zone here, it took us some time to take off again. So this means that Bitcoin needs to hold this first dotted red line. As you can see in the past, every time it was able to stay above this level, we had another test of this upper red line. So this means that Bitcoin needs a weekly close above $35,000 approximately. If we can see a close like that, then it is possible to see a retest of this red line in the coming weeks. And so I would definitely watch that, because if we can get above the 21 weekly moving average, have a weekly close above it, then a retest of this red line is very likely, in my opinion, and also the market will be very bullish if that happens, because like I said, a lot of people are watching it. Now at the end of this video, something that I also want to show you is my RSI down here, where I told you that these two red lines, so I told you, or I talked about this in my previous video, these two red lines I think are very important for a continuation of the bull market. As you can see here with this example, as long as we are above this lower red line, everything is okay. We're seeing higher prices, higher highs, higher lows, and everything is cool here. But as soon as we drop below this level here, yeah, we have really problems, right? And currently we are below this red line. Now we have to see what we have tomorrow with the weekly candle closing, where we are at that time, but this is not looking really good. So something that could happen is a retest of this red line here during the next week, and if we can get above it on the RSI, then I think that we could definitely see lower levels. But just going by the rising wedge, guys, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 points of contact. Here we have 1, 2, 3. So I think that this is not that unlikely to talk about this rising wedge on the weekly that could bring us all the way down to this level. Does this make sense? Yeah, I think it makes sense, because guys, don't forget that we are in a very critical situation in the whole world with Corona and some wars going on. So it's actually not a very good time, right? People are broken, people lost their existence, and I think as soon as firms are able to yeah, say that they don't have money anymore because they made huge losses during the last month, we will see the beginning of the next financial crisis, and this time with a hyperinflation. So we might face a very hard time, and this rising wedge could be a sign for that. So seeing this rising wedge forming on the weekly chart could be a sign for that. The most bullish thing that could happen now is moving above this red and orange line. Okay, so this would be a unbelievable bullish thing, because as you can see in the past, this means that we're really taking off, guys. And like here, that we are really taking off. And I don't think right now that this will happen. Don't get fooled. Watch the market. I told you that at the end of the last bull market, so many people were still saying buy the dip, and people really lost huge amounts of money because they always bought the dip, and at the end they saw it going deeper and deeper until they ran out of money, and they had to yeah, take a very bad loss. So if you don't want something like that, you should definitely wait and see what the market shows you next, because right now there is a chaos, and there are a lot of people saying that they are experts, but they're not, and they tell the people to or they try to give you a feeling of what is going on, although it's not. because they don't understand the market, they're only right as long as the trend is continuing. But as soon as the trend turns around, they don't understand that they also have to turn around and stop saying to the people buy all the dips. Alright guys, so I think it's enough for this video. 20 minutes again. I'm sorry that it is so long, but I think it's a very important video now that you have. I'm also going to make a video where I will talk about my a chart that I've built, which shows me what is going on in the market, where I have a much better feeling, just to give you an idea of what it is. If we go to the hourly chart, guys, this indicator is an indicator that I've made myself, almost, I would say. And as you can see, since October of last year, this is what I said in our Discord group. Since October of last year, this indicator is telling me the bulls are in control of the market, because this line is up here in this region. And now, after this long time, as you can see, the bears are trying to take control. And this is a very good indication to me. And as soon as this thing turns up around and is back up here, I know that bulls are trying to take control and bring the price higher. But currently, it's telling me that the bears have more power. Alright guys, thank you very much for your attention, and we'll see you soon. Bye.